Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble HEROIC campaign guide, I show you how to take down Vilebranch Hexx in Hinterlands. Just like in the normal version, the heroic Vilebranch Hexx will target her enemies with shadow magic at an extensive range. So whenever your minis start reaching these towers, then there's going to be shadow bolts coming that will target the mini closest to Vilebranch Hexx. However, these shadow bolts this time also have area of effect damage, so they're just going to explode and deal damage to multiple targets. And they're elemental damage. So the main way to handle this is to use resistant minis, so that the resistant minis can tank some of those attacks. Or alternatively, you can also try unbound spam, because Vilebranch Hexx does not have a lot of health. So either one of those strategies will help you win this encounter. This is the main army that I recommend for this encounter. I'm using Defias Bandits, Safe Pilot, Shaman, Chickens, Fire Elemental and Blizzard. And why these minis? Fire Elemental is resistant. Fire Elemental is the main resistant tank, and when I have Shaman with the Earthshield talent, then I can make Fire Elemental also armored. And when it's resistant and armored, it's really good here. In practice, level 17 is the lowest you can do this with, and the higher your Fire Elemental, the better. And once your Fire Elemental reaches something like level 20, then you don't even need armored on it anymore. Maybe 19 could do also even without armored. And, well, any levels on the Fire Elemental are just a bonus and making it so much easier. So that's your main dynamic duo, the healing and the resistant tank. And then I have chickens. Chickens are really important here because there's prowlers and there's Warsong raiders. And the raiders have the talent that makes them ignore everything and just go straight for your base. And chickens are very good and fast at killing those raiders, so chickens are just super strong here. I also have Safe Pilot and Blizzard, because there's various other minis, including Poisonous Trolls, and Safe Pilot and Blizzard are ways to handle those trolls and ways to also handle some other minis. And when you have Cold Snap talent on Blizzard, so it stops minis in place, then that's also one way to stop the Warsong Raider from attacking your base, because it cannot reach it, it just stops in its tracks. The last slot is a little bit of a flex slot. I use Defias Bandits here, just some quick cycle and also the ability to stun. So again, Warsong Raider at my base, stun it, and okay, we can handle that. I have also tried some other things there, like for example with Horde, I actually used Sappers in that slot for some extra spice. So there are some options, but this is the main line that I use. Resistant tank, and once Fire Elementals and Shamans reach Vilebranch Hexx, then it's just game over. The unbound alternative, on the other hand, is largely based around Whelpecks. Whelpecks are really good. Whelpecks near Vilebranch. Vilebranch pops them, and then a tank mini closer than the Whelpecks. So either Earth Elemental or Quillbore, and Vilebranch turns around, starts shooting at those, and Whelpecks are just going to shoot at the back. I also have Safe Pilot here. Safe Pilot is really good because Safe Pilot can kill something like a Troll or a Bat Rider that spawns there, also starts dealing damage. Then I have chickens here as well, because sometimes you need to defend your base a little bit, even with the unbound strategy, and chickens are the main way to handle those Warsong Raiders, handle those prowlers, so chickens are just really good here. And then this final slot, I have done this with Skeleton Party, I have done this with Execute, that gives Bloodlust to my minis. So there are some options, but the thing about this unbound spam strategy is that it's not fully consistent. There are various openings for the AI, and some of those openings are just really hard to get through with unbounds, unless you have a lot of levels on your minis. Obviously, when it works, killing the boss with unbounds is just incredibly fast, so it's the fastest way when that happens. Anyway, here's some gameplay footage showing both of these alternatives in action. Okay, let's start with Beasts and with the resistant tank strategy. And here I'm using level 17 minis, so -3 levels compared to the encounter, with the exception of Safe Pilot who's an 18, so pretty much like a 17.2 army in practice, because I'm not using the leader. And this is pretty much the lowest that it can be done. It's already starting to become really hard here, because at level 17 Fire Elemental obviously doesn't have a ton of health, and facing level 20 opponents means that Fire Elemental is just not that tanky, even though you want it to be. Like here, I'm losing the Fire Elemental. Let's say that was a level 20 Fire Elemental, I would have never lost it. It would have just taken the tower and just carried on its merry way. But be that as it may, this is just to demonstrate that it is possible. even with lower levels, so even though it's hard. So here we're getting Fire Elemental again, making it armored, and now Prowler and Warsong Raider, so that is chicken food. Also using the Defiance Bandits, getting some stuns in, because those stuns are really good defensively. So they help me buy some time. Now I'm getting the Fire Elemental Assault on the way again, and it looks like this time we will be able to take the tower. I believe this tower will be mine. So far so good. Looks excellent. Alright, tower falls. That's wonderful news. Okay, I'm trying to defend a little bit with the Blizzard. Cold Snap talent is just spectacular because it stops everything in their tracks and it delays them, and that's just awesome. Now one Fire Elemental is on its way and we set up another Fire Elemental. The classic armored resistant tank strategy, you just send more and more of those in and more shamans also to heal, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for the AI to keep defending against all of that. Now we have lost one Fire Elemental, we also lost the first Shaman, because Shaman was the first mini for a while there, and yeah, those bolts do hurt. But we keep sending more Fire Elementals and more Shamans, and try to keep a track that my base is not going to be under too much pressure at any point. Okay, so now things are going pretty well. We have reached the boss, although there are some minis attacking. I managed to lose a Shaman there. That is unpleasant, because I really wanted healing. Be that as it may, 2 Fire Elementals are in, and we're setting up a Blizzard here as well, so that should the boss spawn anything, then those would die pretty much immediately, and then the boss goes down. Ooh. And here we go again, this time with Horde, same strategy. Defiance Bandits have been replaced by Sappers. I just wanted to use Sappers, just wanted to cook a little bit, because Sappers are tremendously fun, especially, but now they just died. Okay, well maybe they weren't so fun. Actually, they would have been fun if I had just played properly. Well, anyway, be that as it may, we still have the Fire Elemental, and we still have some chickens here. Here I'm using a level 20 Fire Elemental. Everything else is still lower level, but this is so much easier as the Fire Elemental, which is your tank mini, so the most important mini, because it's tanking all of that incoming damage from Vilebranch Hexx, and that's not a small amount of damage. So any levels in the Fire Elemental just make the job a lot easier. So now some Fire Elementals are coming in, and as an upside here with the Sappers, the AI cannot properly send minis from all directions, so my Sappers were able to just grab the other tower while Fire Elementals are fighting for the other one. Which would not be possible with a more regular build, but I still don't think this is a superior one. I think the Defiance Bandits one is able to go through more difficult encounters, but this can be a lot of fun. And maybe it's a little bit faster as well, if you have the levels to pull it off. Anyway, let's send some Fire Elementals with some Shamans. Now we have 2 Fire Elementals and 3 Shamans, and I mean, this game is about to end. This boss, what can it even do? Just what can it do? I decided, hey, because everything is going so well, I might as well even send some chickens from the other side. 3 Shamans. Just healing things up, and Fire Elementals, as you can see, now that they're level 20s, they have barely been scratched. So the difference between level 17 and level 20, that's obviously far above 30%, so it's a big difference, and boom, there goes the boss. Now you might also ask how important are talents. So I did one run where I put the minis in the right slots and I went in without talents. I actually think I should have done this with just the Fire Elemental in the right slot. A level 20 Fire Elemental, no talents, might also be doable. Anyway, this is with a little bit higher level minis and no talents whatsoever. So a couple of levels here and there dictates whether any talents are absolutely necessary or not. I wouldn't be able to do a full 17 team with no talents. I did try, but some kind of a mix and match where some minis have talents, others don't, and that will be possible. And again, the fire elemental levels are really the crucial part. Here, as you can see, fire elemental is taking more damage because it does not have armored. So even a level 20 fire elemental is actually going to die there. It was able to get the tower down, but it did die. Whereas when they were armored, because of the shaman talent, then yeah, level 20 fire elemental just chilled through the entire thing. But now, with no armored on them, they are still very tanky against the boss, because boss deals elemental damage and fire elementals are resistant. I tried all the other tanks, but I don't think any of them were nearly as good as fire elemental in this one. Even the bigger, beefier tanks that cost more, like abominations and molten giants, because they lack that resistant ability, then that's just really, I really felt that. And then they just couldn't get the job done as effectively. But anyway, here fire elementals are going. Chickens, again, being a key part of the defense. In order to mine from those gold veins, the 2 gold veins near the middle, then you have to have something in front, because if your kobold is the furthest mini, then Vilebranch Hexx is just going to shoot at your kobold. But here, also no cold snap, sad times. But be it as it may, fire elementals decide to give chase. Yeah, that Warzone Raider can be annoying at times. Anyway, now fire elementals decided, okay, we have given enough chase and it's all gonna be good. Let's go and kill the boss for a change. And boom, here we go. Boss is taking some hits. Fire elementals are in, shamans are coming in. I'm still ready to potentially send another wave if I have to. We'll see, but this looks pretty settled. Because Vilebranch Hexx cannot really damage those fire elementals much at all. It's more like the Prowler hits them harder and things like that, but boom. Then there's the option to use these unbound strategies, and I'm showcasing a couple of clears with these. But I found that sometimes the boss summons minis in order that I just cannot seem to be able to defeat. At least when I'm doing it with lower levels like these. So here, for example, that Prowler alone could probably take my base, but Prowler can be defended against with the chickens. And here we managed to get pretty good uptime on the boss, and yeah, that boss is, well, it's almost down, and we add some flame burst eggs, and that's one cooked boss. And here's another sample of that unbound strategy. This time things don't go quite as well, but I'm able to recover. But often I just couldn't find a recover. Here that early troll, ouch, I can't kill the troll fast enough, so the troll just killed my whelpex. And oh my, the boss is now doing just fine. Anyway, I am playing as Baron, which gives me a little bit of an advantage because I get some skeletons. And here we go again. And we have some time. Same move, whelpex, and then the tank closer to the boss than the whelpex. When the boss animation goes off, so then whelpex are going to be popped, and then the boss will turn around. But this time there was a mountaineer, and the mountaineer killed the whelpex. Yeah, so that happened. Be that as it may, I am not discouraged. I just want to keep fighting a little bit over here, cycle my deck a tiny bit so that I get to the whelpex again, and then I can get to a tank again. As soon as the boss pops the whelpex, then I check, okay, is anything attacking my base? Not immediately. Let's go with the execute. Damage on the boss, bloodlust on the whelpex, and this time Hexx goes down. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.